Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, text 3. Klaivyam ma sma kamaha bharta aitat vai upapatyate shudram hridaya aurvalyam yakvatatishta param tapa. Klaivyam asma Klaivyam sma ganapata Klaivyam asma ganapata Aitat vai upapyate Aitat vai upapatyate Shudram hridaya dharvalyam Shudram hridaya dharvalyam Dakvoditishta parantapa Dakvoditishta parantapa Klaivyam asmakam apata Aitat vai upapatyate Shudram hridaya dharvalyam Yakvatishta parantapa
Klaivyam asmakam apata
Oh, we took it off.
Aitat vai upapatyate Shudram hridaya dharvalyam
Jyotishta parantapa
Dakvoditishta parantapa
Klaivyam asmakam apata
Klaivyam asmakam apata
Aitat vai upapatyate Shudram hridaya dharvalyam Yakvatishta parantapa
Klaivyam importance, importance. Masma, do not. Kamaha, take to. Partha, O son of Prita. Na, never. Eta, this. Vai, unto you. Upapatyate is befitting. Shudram, petty. Hridaya, of the heart. Dharvalyam, weakness. Yaktva, giving up. Uttishta, get up. Parantapa, O chastiser of the enemies. Translation purport and by grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O son of Prita, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such a petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Purport. Arjuna was addressed as the son of Rita, who happened to be the sister of Krishna, his father, Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. And if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers, therefore. Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives. But Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. Vaibhyam masma Kama Pata Naikta Vai Upapatyate Shutram Hridaya Daupalyam Dargotishta Arambhava. O son of Prita, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise for chastisement of the enemy. Om Agyatim Ranyasam Sanapyam Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasman Shirayama. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are the second verse of Krishna replying to Arjuna's disinclination to fight.
Microphone.
That was the climax, the first canto or first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, overwhelmed by compassion, lamentation, he threw down his mighty bow, the Gandiva. He declined to fight, sitting down on the chariot instead to stand up and fight. So he sat down. And Krishna, Parthasarathi, was a charioteer. So what the charioteer should do now, if the warrior who should fight is not inclined to do his duty, to attack and to start the fight because he is challenged, there's no escape. So that here in the very special situation, the charioteer, who is Krishna himself, actually, as I mentioned last time, is by position a lower job than the Kshatriya, who is the fighter, the warrior. The charioteer is a Shudra, is a servant, an assistant to the hero, to the fighter. So there was very something special. So Krishna had to take position of instructor now, not of servant. Actually, he told, I want to serve you as the chariot. I will not fight personally, but I will take this job because you're my friend and I love you. I know that you also love me. We have a
You have to put the microphone closer to your mouth.
You with your microphone all the time. Always the same story. So, Arjuna got overpowered by this lamentation, and Krishna had to take up the position now as a teacher, as guru, to instruct Arjuna about his duty of a Kshatriya. Because Arjuna was a pure Kshatriya, in pure line, not a so-called one. He was sent to the war. He came from a very great line of Kshatriyas, Kuru line. He was the son of Pandu. And actually the first thing that Krishna tells him, so you are Partha, or son of Partha. Partha is the name of Kunti. So he wanted to remind her about his relationship with Kunti, and also Krishna's relationship to Kunti. Because Kunti was sister of Vasudeva, father of Krishna. And as such, she was the aunt of Krishna. And Arjuna was her son through Pandu. Although Pandu, he was actually not the real father. The real father of Arjuna was Indradev. And as such, Arjuna was actually an incarnation of Indra. And Indra, as we know, is the king of heaven. He's very powerful. He's very heroic. He faces many challenges with the demons and has to go to fight. And he always has Krishna's protection, most of the time, unless it attacks Krishna himself. Govardhan, as you know. But he's the principal demigod. And as such, Arjuna, as the son of Indra, he should have the similar quality, the same quality as Indra. And he also addressed him here with another name, Parampapa. So two. First Prita, or Partha. Partha, son of Prita. Name of Kunti, and the other one, Parampapa, chastiser of the enemy. So Arjuna, Krishna wanted to remind him, you already went through many battles, and you are also capable for many battles in the future. You are even empowered, and it's possible for you to conquer even the whole universe by yourself. You're so powerful. So you're Parantapa, because previously you already showed your power. And you chastised so many of your enemies. And you became always victorious. And your enemies know that. And therefore, you should be conscious about your position, your identification, your real I, not your weakness of I. There's two kinds of I's, or egos. The weak ego, this is called Dauerbalyam, Hridaya Dauerbalyam. This is the weak ego. We all have this weak ego. Even the strongest person or heroes in this world have these weak egos, at least sometimes. So it is natural for conditioned souls to be under the influence of the weak ego. Why? Why actually is the ego considered weak? Because we identify ourselves with something but we are not. We are not aware about our position. And if we are not aware who I am, then I don't know what is my duty, what I have to do, what I should not do. What is my sadhana? What is my sadhya? What is my rule and regulation? And what is my sadhya, my goal, my achievement, what I want to attain in this life? Most of the people, they are not aware about that. They don't know the real sadhana and the real goal of the sadhana, sadhya, of their duties or activities, what they are doing. Because they do mostly activity due to ignorance, due to anartha. What is artha? Anartha is the opposite of artha. Artha is something what is needed, what we like, what is something what we want to achieve. Dharma, artha, karma, moksha. So there's 4 kinds of achievements what people like, or 4 kinds of goals what people like to achieve, starting with dharma, religiosity, and some belief, and then artha, some achievements, some opulences, some infrastructure, something like that starts to appear. And then like to enjoy the infrastructure or the gains or that what we build up, what we got. We want to enjoy it. But because in this material world enjoyment is not lasting, it is temporary, it always conditioned soul always becomes defeated by Maya, by illusion, by his own mentality of attachments to this material things that he created. And ultimately he likes to attain mukti or liberation. So artha, karma, moksha. So artha, supreme artha, is to please Krishna. Panchama Purusha artha, prema pumata mahan. That's the 5th goal. Panchama Purusha artha, the supreme goal of for human being. Purusha artha is to attain prema, love to Krishna, attraction to Krishna, pleasing Krishna, acting as a servant to Krishna, to please Krishna's senses. This kind of artha actually in the Vedic culture is already trained since childhood. Kumara, Prahlad Maharaj. He says, Kaumaram Achara Pragya Dharmam Bhagavata Viha Durlabam Manasa Janma Tat Atrubam Artadam. And also this word Artadam. So he teaches his friends in the school secretly. Because he was son of demon, so secretly he gave instruction to his friends about supreme artha, Bhagavata Dharma, devotional service. So he told, so my dear friends, now we are children, we are Kumaras, 5-year-old. And that's the age of education. So now we should not just learn from our teachers about economy, about history, about mathematics, like that. Actually, we should use our human life, what is rarely attained, rarely attained. Anusha, Janma, Atruvam. It's very difficult to attain human form of life. So we should not waste it now just with these material needs and knowledge. We should use it to attain Artha. Artha in this case means supreme Artha, the supreme value. Artha is a value. Anartha means that what has no value. That is what actually is nonsense, it's bad habit. It's not favorable for our life. The opposite of Artha is Anartha. And there's so many Anarthas we developed during our life, from whole life on, early life. Habits. How we eat, how we sleep, how we associate, how we speak, how we deal with people or not deal with people, how we act. All this habit. So under the spiritual master, we have to learn how to develop proper habits. Because now we accumulated heaps of bad habits, anartha. So now we should learn what is real artha, what is real value of human life. And this is what Krishna wanted to impress to Arjuna. Arjuna is liberated soul. You should understand that. He's not one of us. But Krishna is teaching his own eternal devotee, associate. No. For us, so that they can learn. Arjuna doesn't have to learn. He's already liberated. But how can Krishna teach living entities about transcendental knowledge? They're not capable. They think, who is this Krishna? Why should I learn from him? Never heard about him. Why should he teach me? Why he should learn me things? Why he should instruct me? I didn't choose me, I didn't call him. Therefore Krishna is not appearing before us. He appears before his devotee. Arjuna is his devotee. Dear devotee. Most dear devotee outside of Vrindavan's friend. Krishna has two kinds of friends. Those friends here in Vrindavan, the coward boys, they're called Braja Sambandhya, the Vrindavan friends. And the best friends outside of Vrindavan, the friends outside of Vrindavan are called Raja Sambandhya and the Sambandhyas in the city, Pura Sambandhya. And the best friend, and Arjuna amongst all the Pura Sambandhyas is Arjuna. Yudhishthira also is friend, but he's a little older than Krishna, so Krishna is more the respectivity there. As a king and senior, but also some friendly attitude mixed with protecting as an elder. But Arjuna was same age with Krishna, therefore they were very close friends, very close. Outside of Vrindavan, Arjuna is known as the closest friend of Krishna, most dear. Like amongst all the servants outside of Vrindavan, who is the most famous and the most dear to the Lord? Hanuman. Yeah. Hanuman is the most intimate friend, of course, of Krishna, Daruka. But I ask about the Lord. So amongst the Lord, the greatest servant, most famous is Hanuman. He did so much service for the Lord's pleasure. And he even could do things, but even Lord Ramachandra could not do. Because Lord Ramachandra empowered him to jump over to Lanka, for example, to bring Sita back, like that. So, but amongst the Pura Sambandhyas, Arjuna is most intimate, most close to Krishna, same age, friends. But now this friend is lamenting, is overpowered by sentiment, by tears, by lamentation, by so many excuses why not to fight. Some reasonable, some not so much reasonable. So Krishna was not very happy about this situation, about this mood of his friend. Of course, Krishna put him in this situation. He covered him over with a cloud of ignorance, temporary, not even for a whole muhurta. We are covered with ignorance, since many lifetimes. The conditioned souls, many lifetimes. But Arjuna's lamentation or covering of ignorance was not even a muhurta. Muhurta means 48 minutes. It's one muhurta. Whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken a little more than one muhurta. You told 1 hour, or not? So it is Arjuna's covering was very short. His argumentation and his weakness not to fight. So Krishna put him just for a little moments, dandas, in ignorance, so that he could speak Bhagavad Gita, to sharpen the attention of the readers, of the listeners of Mahabharata and from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna put his own devotee into covering of ignorance, avidya. Ignorance means avidya. Srila Vyasadeva, when he was in meditation, how to write Srimad Bhagavatam, he was in trance, and in this trance, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he saw the living entities, the jivas, and he saw the cloud of Maya, and how the living entities are completely covered by this Maya cloud. But the Son, Krishna itself, was not touched by Maya. But the living entities, conditioned souls, are fully in the grasp, fully in the grasp of this Maya, the cloud illusion, who is like the shadow energy of Krishna. So it's not separate, it's Krishna's energy. Therefore the great sage, he felt compassion, real compassion, for the conditioned souls who are suffering in the Maya. Because he knew who is Krishna, he knew the Tattva, he knew what the Sambandha, he knew the relationship with Krishna, he knew who is Krishna, he knew who we are, the living entity, eternal living soul, Sanatana. And he knew the situation of the conditioned soul in the material world. We have to go through the samsara cycle of birth and death. So his compassion is different than the compassion of Arjuna. Arjuna's compassion was sentiment. He didn't understand the tattva. And this is another avidya, another ignorance, an anartha, bad habit, because we don't know what is tattva. We only know what is illusion. And we like the illusion very much. And if you are in illusion, you cannot know what is tattva. And the tattva you have to understand first, before we know in which direction to go. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva gave us tattva. And he showed us in which direction to go. Therefore he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. To enlighten the living entity, to give shed the light of knowledge, what dissipates the darkness. Krishna is Dharma Bhagavate, Dharma Jnana Bihi Saha, Kalau Nasta Trisamesha, Purunarko Dunoditaha. The sages of Naimisharanya, they ask, where the religious principle, Dharma, and Vairagya, detachment, renunciation, went after Krishna's disappearance. Because when Krishna was present, Dharma and Vairagya was present with Bhakti. Because wherever Bhakti is, Vairagya and Dharma is also there, as a byproduct. Dharma svanostita puncham vishvakshera katasya. No, that's not this verse. Paradharma, yato bhakti radokshachi. It's also not this one. From Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, it is stated that whenever there is bhakti, devotional service, vairagya and dharma also naturally becomes a byproduct. Somebody knows the verse?
Vasudevi Bhagavati.
Thank you. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Gyanam Chayam Ahaitukam. So it is naturally. So that means when Krishna was present, Bhakti was here, Bhakti Devi, Gyan was here, knowledge, real knowledge in relation to Krishna was established, Dharma was here, Vairagya was there. Everything was there. But when Krishna left, the sages asked, so what happened with all these things? Where they went, where they took shelter. So Suta Goswami quoted this verse. They took shelter in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore the Bhagavatam is representative of Krishna. It is as brilliant as the sun. And it immediately appeared after Krishna disappeared from this world. Bhagavatam appeared in this world to shed the light to the irritated, conditioned souls, to show them the way in which direction to go. So Krishna is Krishna Surya. He is as brilliant as the light, as the sun. And he doesn't want to see the living entities in ignorance. So therefore he teaches his devotee to put him first a little in ignorance, in lamentation, so-called compassion for Bhishma, Drona, who were his teachers, his family members, who were on the other side. So he felt compassion, he thought, why to fight? Sin will come over us, we get a reaction. So that was ignorant. Because Krishna was personally present, the sun was personally present in front of him, but there was this cloud between Krishna and him for some moment, so he could not recognize at that point who Krishna really was. And therefore he also could not understand his position, who he really was. Because he could not recognize Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, and he could not understand his position as his eternal servant, therefore he didn't know anymore what is his duty. So you cannot know what is duty if you don't know who is your boss and who you are, that you are his eternal servant. So therefore that's first what we have to learn. Who is Krishna? We have developed faith in Krishna. Who are we? That we are his servant. And then engage in devotional service in the association of those who have faith, who are already on the path of devotional service. Then this is the safe path of advancement. Therefore, we have to take shelter in association of devotees, Guru, senior Vaishnavas, and also peers, same age, to develop positive habits, to overcome ignorance, lamentation, and this avidya. Anatta. Because of anatta, we are here bound in this material world. Because of anatta, lust, greed, anger, illusion, enviousness, fear, and ultimately death, hunger, thirst, death, and all these things. It's manifestation of anatta, of our bad habits and our forgetfulness, who we are. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, therefore, in several of his books, especially in the Vajana Rahasya, and then also in some other books, Harinam Chintamani, he defined what is the anatta of the living entity. And he defined them in four categories. Anatta has 4 categories. The first one is called Asat Trishna. Asat Trishna means attachment to the temporary. Attachment to the asat, to what is not real, what has not a direct relationship to Krishna. This is asat Krishna. It means to sense gratification, to temporary bodily needs and pleasures. This is asat Krishna. This is the first anatta, first weakness of the conditioned souls, of Ains's material world. The second one is Hridaya Daubhalya. The word also here is mentioned, third chapter, third verse here. This Hridaya Daubhalya, this weakness of your heart, is not befitting to you, Arjuna. Because you are a Kshatriya, first grade Kshatriya, not the second or third grade, and you are not a Kshatriya Bandhu, a relative who is actually not a real Kshatriya of a Kshatriya. So you are a first grade Kshatriya with first grade line. Your mother, your father, Indra, Pandu, and you are a great hero. So it's not befitting you, the weakness of your mind and the weakness of your heart. Actually, weakness and heart and mind is one. It's not two things. Because if you have a weak mind, you also have a weak heart. And if you have a weak heart, you also have a weak mind. So the heart and mind in this sense is actually the same. It's a weakness. And from where weakness is coming from? The weakness of that, from doubt. Arjuna had a doubt. Doubt about his duty, about his position, about his what is right, what is to be done, and what is not to be done. Is his war justified or not? It was his doubt. And from this doubt, this Hridaya Daubhalya appeared. And the Hridaya Daubhalya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he mentions 4 symptoms. Well, one symptom, it's related to Arjuna here, is he didn't acted. He didn't know to act for Krishna's pleasure. The duty, to perform his duty for Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure. He was not aware about that in that moment. Therefore he became overpowered by this weakness of the heart. This was his weakness. He didn't want to act for Krishna's direction. At that moment, that caused his weakness. So then he became more and more covered and more therefore drag down lamentation and weakness. The third anatta, two we already got. You remember? First one? Asa Trishna, attachment to sense gratification. Second one, Hridaya Daurbalyam, the weakness of the heart or mind. And the third one is called Aparad. That we all know. Aparada. And Dr. Thakur says there are four kinds of aparadas. There is a Seva aparat to the deity worship, 32 in number. And then there is a Nama aparat, 10 in number. And then he also makes a separation of Vaishnava aparat, who's actually also part of Nama aparat. Vaishnava aparat, and the fourth one is, somebody remembers?
Nama aparat.
Huh? Nama aparat, yes. Right. Nama aparat. So to the holy name, aparat to the holy name. So these are the four aparatas. This is also an anatta because of bad habits, of bad association. So we are committing aparat. Aparat to Krishna. Who is Krishna? Why should we follow Krishna? Oh, Krishna is actually wrong. Arjuna's argument is understandable with the moralist. You say, Arjuna, I can completely understand him. He's Krishna, he's forcing him. He's forcing him to fight. To kill so many people. So Arjuna is compassionate. He's a real. He's the great. They consider him the great hero. But Krishna is forcing him, tells him even you are another hero. You're not you're acting like an Aryan. You're lamenting. You want to run away. You're a weakling. You're a renegade. He chastised him. Actually, this chastisement of Krishna is not because he wants to put him down, because Krishna loves Arjuna. He loves Arjuna like anything. This is dear devotee. So the teacher or his friend in this position, or the father who is loving his son, and the teacher his pupil or his disciple, never chastises a disciple or a son or a dependent because he wants to put him down, or he wants to encourage him. And he knew, Krishna knew, Arjuna was a kshatriya, and he knew exactly how to pick him, with the arguments, with words. But it's more words, than a weapon. It's if you are urging a kshatriya, by calling him a coward, an Anaryan, a weakling, Hridaya Daurbalyam, you have a weak mind. Don't tell this kshatriya, it's big offense, Immediately, wow, I want to show you. So Krishna wanted to just pick him, with the needles of his very clever arguments. We think, we are clever, But Krishna is the most clever. He's more clever than all of us. So therefore he can trick us. He can trick us. Like Prabhupada also told, if you would tell us everything now at the beginning, nobody would come to Krishna consciousness. Therefore he tricks us to come to Krishna consciousness. So he's empowered by Krishna. So the devotee who is empowered by Krishna, he can tricks other persons, who actually condemned maybe for many, many lifetimes or for eternity in this material world to become devoted to Krishna. That's great. That's actually the great mercy. That's the great mercy. That we have to see. That's the difference between this mercy of the devotee who wants to help living entities to come in contact with Krishna. No more disease, no more wars, no more burden death, no more lamentations, no more birth, old age, disease and death. We go to Krishna. So this is the great mercy. So therefore Krishna came to uproot these anarthas in our hearts, in our personalities. The fourth anartha is called Tattva Brahma. Not understanding Tattva properly. Be in illusion or in confusion about Tattva, about what is the right and what is wrong, what is to do, who is Krishna. To materialists take Krishna for an ordinary person. Therefore this is called Tattva Brahma. They don't understand who Krishna is. Therefore they see fault in him. And they don't understand Krishna's plan, therefore they take side of Arjuna, have sympathy for him. Not understand actually Krishna's plan. He's supreme, he's superior, he's Bhagavan. Therefore he had a certain plan. So therefore the reader of Bhagavad Gita should take side of Krishna and understand the whole situation of the tattva, the situation that Arjuna is his devotee, and that Krishna put him temporarily in illusion, in a bewildering condition, so that he could tell him the Bhagavad Gita. And later on, in the next few verses, you will hear Arjuna will accept shelter in Krishna, accepting as Guru. That's the next. If you actually want to, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is pointing out, if you want to become free of these four anartha, that means Hridaya Daurbalyam, Asatrishna, Aparada, and Tattva Brahma, you have to take shelter in the instruction of spiritual master, superior authority of Shastra, Guru, Vaishnava, Acharya. So we have to take the shelter, and as soon we are actually taking the shelter, this is actually a real intelligence. And intelligence starts to function. Superior intelligence starts to function. We get superior powers, bala. Material power is not called bala. But those who don't know the tattva, they say material power is also bala. It's not bala. Material power is temporary power, therefore it's called it is temporary, it is fallible power. Therefore there are two kinds of power. The fallible power of the materialist, who maybe has some power for some time, bodily power, but at the time it dwindles with old age and he becomes very weak and dies. But that's not the real power. The real power is Daiva. In Ram Lila, we hear about these two powers. The power of Ramachandra's soldiers, the Hanuman and company, the monkeys, and all those who were empowered by Ram. And they got the Daiva Shakti, this Daiva power. And Ravana, he got the fallible power. Only for some time, he looked very powerful. He could even terrorize whole universe, but temporarily. Therefore, ultimately, the inferior power of the greatest materialist, Ravana, became overpowered by the Daiva power, by the Lord, given by the Lord. Therefore, Bala means spiritual power. And only with the spiritual power, we can overcome the weakness, the natural weakness of the conditioned soul that we are here in the material world. Because we are in this material world, because of anartha. Anartha agamam sakshat bhakti yoga adokshache. Therefore, Vyasadeva, he saw this very clearly. He saw that the living entities are overpowered by this anartha, and he wanted to help them to come out of this anartha by giving them the direct process, bhakti yoga adokshache, to the Supreme Lord. who cannot be perceived and be understood with our material senses. Adaksha, adoksha che. So therefore Krishna, we cannot understand Krishna with material eyes, and we cannot understand position of Krishna with material senses. We have to hear from authority, from spiritual master, from the Shastra, from sadhus, devotees, about position of Krishna. And then if this position of Krishna is injected and implanted in our heart, in our mind, then we can act properly. And we can accumulate, follow the proper sadhana according to our level we are in life, and follow certain sadhana, and then we know what is the goal, the sadhya, the goal, love to Krishna, attainment of shelter, Krishna's lotus feet. So, this is the process. Any question? My wife chastised me last 2 times because I never ask questions. So I should ask questions. I stopped earlier to ask questions, so now I will see if there's question. Otherwise I will tell her, you see, anyway I have no question.
Probably what he's saying here,
Because it's some interesting points, no? It should be some questions.
such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy of the sons of the fathers. Therefore, Krishna is not considered to become an unworthy son of the Kshatriya.
We can hear your question.
Hare Krishna. What Krishna is thinking is that if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, or he is Brahmana in name only, such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna didn't want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of the Kshatriya. But what if somebody wants to raise his level, he wants to go from Kshatriya to Brahmana or Vaishya? He doesn't say anything but Vaishyas and Shudras there. Vaishya, it must be understood that the Vaishya and Shudra are also the same thing.
To rise.
Yeah, he wants to rise above. Shudra wants to become a Vaishya. Vaishya wants to become a Kshatriya. Kshatriya wants to become a Brahmana. Then he doesn't mean unworthy. Does he?
Anyway, Kali Yuga, we're all Shudras. So we're not even Kshatriya or anything, not even proper Vaishyas. Kala Shudra Sambhava. So what we know about real Kshatriya and how to attain Kshatriya level, maybe you're born in a Kshatriya family here in India, but doesn't mean that you're a real Kshatriya.
No, we want to suppose somebody is real Kshatriya.
Real Kshatriya.
Let's assume that somebody is real Vaishya, somebody is a real Shudra.
Then he's satisfied in his position.
No, he wants to raise his level to Vaishya, or Vaishya wants to raise his level to Kshatriya. Kshatriya wants to raise his level to...
Why he should? No? Why should a friend of Krishna become a gopi if he is satisfied as a friend? And why a gopi should become a mother if she is satisfied with gopi? Therefore, in the spiritual world, if you are situated in the rasa, you don't want to change, because you are everyone who is in the rasa thinks our rasa is the best. So every kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmana, they have to be satisfied in their position, because they are aware about the qualities, about their qualifications.
Everyone, the material, for spiritual world is absolutely different.
In the spiritual world, then you have to go Vaikuntha. In Goloka is no Varnashram. Only in Vaikuntha, therefore, it's the funny statement. This funny statement is made by Narada in Priya Bhagavatamrita. When Narada met Uddhava in Dwaraka. In Dwaraka, I think he met him, and then Uddhava he was dressed like an like Krishna, and also Krishna was like a prince, like Kshatriya. And then Uddhava, and Narada told, oh, it's very funny, that you Uddhava, and even your Krishna here in Dwaraka, not only in the material world you act as a Kshatriya, even in the spiritual world you are Kshatriyas.
We, all of us here, we are trying to become Krishna Vaishnavas, come into Krishna consciousness. This is raising our level.
Therefore, as Krishna conscious devotee, you only have one varna. To become a devotee of Krishna,
So
servant of Krishna.
We are trying to raise our level. Whatever we are, we Shudra can become a Krishna Vaishnava, Vaishya can become.
No, you don't have to raise. You just act according to your nature and engage in Krishna service. You don't have to rise anything. That's artificial.
It becomes difficult. You don't.
Yeah, because you have a certain nature, you have a prarabdha karma. You know what is prarabdha karma? You heard about it? Prarabdha karma is your caste, your previous life, all your characteristics, your profession, your qualities, what you have, you got from last life. That's prarabdha karma.
That's what.
So prarabdha karma is nature giving from you, due to your past karma. So it stays for your whole life. You only have to learn how to engage in Krishna service, then you can purify it. Seva mukha jiva.
But that is also a real level.
Then you rise on the supreme level. You know what the supreme level is? Not to be a kshatriya or brahmana. Supreme level is to become a devotee of Krishna, a servant of Krishna.
So you are changing your.
Dasa.
For the next life, you are changing your.
Why next life?
For the next life, you are changing your.
Why next life?
Why next life?
This life, of
This
course.
life.
But if you don't attain Krishna consciousness completely, don't go back to Godhead, then you are definitely.
But your
raising-
object is not to become a better kshatriya or a brahmana or all this stuff.
No.
A sannyasi.
Prabhu. Even if you don't finish your perfection in this life, according to Narada Muni, many statements in Shastra, you are never lost. You continue there where you stopped. You continue.
But your level is there.
Spiritual level, not material level. The material level is no level.
I don't want to. It becomes sometimes very difficult to get to the bottom of everything. This lecture was so good today. So many things you have said today.
Then ask a question about the lecture, not something about Varnashram and.
This is there. This was there. What I asked us from this only, not outside.
Let's say, we all know that the Kshatriyas always are acting as Kshatriyas. They don't never take a lower position. They maybe temporarily take up as a activity of Brahmana, like Parusharam, but then he goes back in Kshatriya again. He doesn't remain Brahmana, because he becomes defeated by Lord Ramachandra. He breaks his bow, and he broke also at the same time his ego, and he told Parusharam, so now, actually Parusharam concluded himself, he accepted superiority of Lord Ramachandra, because Ramachandra is superior in the Bhagavan position of Parusharam. Parusharam was Shakti Avesha avatar, or is Shakti Avesha avatar, empowered. But Lord Ramachandra is practically almost like Krishna in position. Actually, there's no difference. So he's Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead. So Parusharam, he accepted defeat, and he gave up his Kshatriya handwork, and he took up his Kshatriya, and he became Brahmana again. So temporarily he became Brahmana. And Vishwamitra Muni, example, he was a Kshatriya, and he wanted to become a Brahmana. And you know the story, 60,000 years, tapasya, because he wanted to become a Brahma Rishi. Because he became defeated by Brahma Rishi, and Brahma Rishi had so much opulence, only one cow. I have tens and hundred thousands of cows, but he has one cow, Kamadenu, who gave unlimited milk, and he wanted to steal that. but his cow itself defeated him and killed many of his armies. Vishwamitra became frustrated, so he took up the pasya. I also want to become Brahmana now. 60,000. Then Menaka came, tingling, Kinkara, Kinkini, the ankle bells, ringing. And just by that, his meditation broke and he fell. And then again, he had to purify himself. So again thousands of years of tapasya. And ultimately, he became recognized by Vasishta as a Brahma Rishi.
Wanted to kill him.
Yeah, they were eternal enemies almost. But these are rare examples. In general, Prabhupada always makes a point, one always should be satisfied with one's varna. Don't try to become, also Krishna said, don't try to perform others' duty even perfectly, if it is not your duty. Better your duty imperfectly than somebody else's imperfectly. That means, don't try to become a Brahmana if your nature is Vaishya. But this is not our goal. That's not the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnava or any Vaishnava Sampradaya to become perfect in Varnashram. We should become perfect as devotee of Krishna, in devotional service. Because the devotional service transcends. You are not anymore anyone's servant if you serve Krishna. Devashi Putaptarani Rinaki.
Unalloyed.
Devash.
Unalloyed.
Kinkaram Nakinkaranayam Rini Charajam Saratmanayam Sharanam Sharanyam Katomukunda Paririta Katam. So you're not anymore to anyone indebted. So it's not our goal to rise from Shudra to Vaishya, from Vaishya to Kshatriya, from Kshatriya to Brahmana. This is materialistic concept. It's called Jata. The Jata Brahmana, the Brahmanas born in Brahmana family in Kali Yuga, they will give you a blessing. Yes, now you're a Vaishnava, but from the West, next lifetime you will become Brahmana. So that's proud. That's proudness. That's ego. Now I'm Brahmana. You cannot become a Brahmana in this life. But Prabhupada told, what actually means Brahmana? Can you define what is a Brahmana? What is the main definition of a Brahmana?
What is the Dharma? What is the Dharma?
What is a Brahmana? What is the first definition of Brahmana? What is it? Brahmana Jana Aiti Brahmana. Brahmana is he who knows Brahman. He knows God, he knows Krishna, he knows Supreme Personality. He knows what is spiritual and he knows what is material. That's a Brahmana. But who amongst the Brahmanas in Kali Yuga know that? You have only Brahmana there, but they don't know who is actually Bhagavan. They maybe think about Brahman, about the liberation or mukti or worship demigods. But the Brahmana means he is a devotee of the Lord. He's a Brahmana. And what the devotees are doing? They serve the Supreme Brahman. Therefore, Prabhupada's conclusion was, naturally the devotee is a Brahmana. Without taking birth in Brahmana family. But of course the caste Brahmanas will not recognize that, they will say, no, that's not, you have to take birth in Brahmana family first.
That's not true.
But this is materialistic. This is narrow-mindedness, ego, my caste is the best. And only by my blessings. Like the mother of Dhruva, actually the mother-in-law, no, not the mother-in-law, the stepmother, told, you cannot, sit on the lap of your father. First you have to take birth in my womb, again, next life, then you can have this seat on the lap of your father. No, that's ego. But with ego we cannot attain Krishna. Only by Trinada Abhisamechana, giving up ego and become humble and surrendered. Therefore Lord Chaitanya said, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not Vaishya, nor I'm a Shudra. I'm also not a sannyasi, brahmachari, grihastha, not a vanaprastha. So what he is? He's the servant of the servant, dasa dasa anudasa, of the lover of the gopis. Gopi Bhartu, Kamalayor, dasa dasa anudasa. So this is Lord Chaitanya's mood. And Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they follow that mood, they go that line. Therefore the supreme position that you can attain is become a servant of Krishna. Not even a servant of Krishna, there's even a higher position, become the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna's servant. But tell this to a Brahmana. Say, what servant? Servant means Shudra. No problem. A Vaishnava can do any service for Krishna's pleasure. Can fight for, like Prabhupada told, it doesn't mean that a Vaishnava is sentimental, except taking Arjuna's example. No. Vaishnava is very practical, he can do everything if Krishna desires. Krishna can empower him and he is ready to fight. He can become very ferocious and angry, like a lion. Be careful. The guru of Srila Prabhupada, you know what is his name? Singha Guru. Singha Guru. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They called him a Singha Guru because he was sometimes so much ferocious, chastising the Mayavadis or the Sahajyas on the road, on the street when he met somebody. He took him like that, why you are cheating people. Therefore his father, sometimes he one prominent Appa Sampradaya leader, Guru, he chastised in Puri. So his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had to send his son away from there to Bengal. Because he wanted not to agitate the situation so much. He was so much challenging. And for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had not many friends. He was not sentimental. You maybe think you have many friends, but if you need them, you will see who they are, how many friends you have. For Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, famous quote is, he who chastises you, is your friend. And he who is flattering you, who tells you how nice you are, is your worst enemy. Okay? Something else? Have one?